Welcome back, everybody. Thank you all so much for joining me here today. My name is Pritesh with KAIZN Crypto. In this video, I had the opportunity to speak with Patrick Tobler, the founder of NFT Maker. NFT Maker has been a cornerstone of the Cardano NFT ecosystem, with now over 950,000 NFTs having been created on the platform. It's so exciting to see the growth of this project. We are coming up on the 1-year anniversary, and in this video today, I got a chance to speak with Patrick about some of the things that he's been working on, what excites him about the Cardano NFT ecosystem, as well as different things like DeFi. We talked about stake pools on Cardano, as well as projects such as Milkomeda and a whole bunch of other cool things. I had a lot of fun in this conversation today. If you all do enjoy it, please be sure to drop a like for me. Also, if you do want to stay updated with more content like this, be sure to hit that subscribe button and click that notification bell so you know exactly when I post a new video. All right, everyone, let's go ahead and jump right into it. This is my conversation with Patrick Tobler, the founder of NFT Maker. What are some of the favorite spots you visited in LA so far?
Yeah, so I can tell you downtown is not my favorite spot. Unfortunately, my hotel is in downtown, so it's where I hang out most of the time. I was in Burbank today. That was really nice. That was super nice, actually. I was in Venice. That was also very nice. But you know, in general, I like LA. It's a very like energetic city, I would say. But it also it has its ups and downs, kind of. Yeah.
Yeah, just from what I've seen on the media as well, because it's crazy. Like, I live in the US, but I've never been to LA.
You've never been?
No,
Oh,
never
wow.
been. Never been. Dude, there's so many places I wish, like, that's why I really appreciate your perspective as like the digital nomad, because I feel like a lot of people are trying to get to that point where they can travel and, you know, do all that kind of stuff and go and see different places and everything. But it's interesting because LA has always been portrayed as one of those places where you got a lot of high-end stuff, like you got the luxury lifestyle, but then there's also the complete opposite, right? You got some severe poverty, people living in tents and things like that on the streets. And it's like, you kind of see both of those things there in the same place.
Yeah, that was crazy. Like when you go outside of my hotel here, there are a lot of homeless people, a lot more than in any other city that I've ever been to, honestly. So it's weird. Like I don't understand how this can happen in a country like the US or a place like LA where there's so much money, so many rich people and so on. So yeah, there's something wrong there. Like it's pretty clear.
Yep. Yeah, for sure. Well, I'm glad to hear that you're at least able to enjoy some of the sights, and hopefully you've eaten some amazing food. You know, that's
Yes,
always fun too.
that I have. Yeah, that I really have.
Nice. Yeah. So Patrick, tell us more about NFT Maker, man. What you been up to there? It's been your baby now for a while. So it's been pretty
Yeah,
cool to
so
see this thing grow up. What's going on there?
there's so much going on. I mean, first of all, it's now almost a year since I started it, right? It's 5 days left since I started it for a year then and until the birthday. I
Oh,
think that's
wow.
also when we met for the first time.
Yeah.
Like almost shortly after that, which I think is really cool. Almost a year already, unbelievable.
Crazy.
And yeah, we are doing so much. We're building the marketplace. It's been probably the topic for my life recently. Marketplace building gets delayed further and further, but it's getting really good, and it's getting very close also. So we will announce something on the birthday. We will hopefully announce a date on the
Ooh.
birthday. So I'm excited for that.
Okay. All right. A little bit of a teaser there. I like it.
Yeah, it's coming. It's coming.
That's awesome.
Than you might think. And we launched a token. I mean, you already spoke about that a little bit. Or we are launching the token. We're doing an ICO very soon in 2 weeks. So on the 18th of April, plugging in here to participate in the
Please
ICO.
do. Yes, please do. How can we learn more?
And so what is very important to us is that we do everything 100% correct. So from like a legal standpoint, because that's a big topic. If you want to build a company, you can't just go ahead and just launch something, unfortunately, at least not in Europe. So we have worked together with an exchange. It's called LCX, and they are essentially helping us issue this token. so that we do all of it compliant, and it's really 100% bulletproof also, and we don't wake up in 5 years with a bad message.
Yep.
So if you want to participate, it's honestly really easy. Just register on lcx.com and yeah, and then participate once it opens.
Okay, fantastic. I know I'm going to get a lot of people asking me, especially considering from my scenario as well, US residents have been notorious for having issues when it comes to participating in some of these ICOs or pre-sales. And a lot of
Yeah.
it's just the lack of clarity really within the framework we have for crypto. So tell us about that. Can US residents participate?
They can only participate if they have a license to do so. So some people do have that, but most of the Americans unfortunately don't. So you won't be able to participate.
Okay, so that would be like if you were an accredited investor, like
Exactly.
a million or something in liquid assets
I
or
think
whatever the
also
number is.
a few of the states in the US can also participate, but not all of them, and like not the big ones, unfortunately. It's very,
Okay.
it's one of those things like I wish I could change it, but I can't. It's so
Same.
unfortunate. Yeah.
Yeah, I hear you, man. Well, we do the best with what we have. So,
Yeah.
all right. Well, that's interesting. So I
We
know
have
it's
we have some good news there also. So, the way we are structuring this whole sale is we have a pre-sale for, strategic investors and people that want to invest more. Then we have the ICO. And then because of these issues, because of the KYC also, like a lot of people don't want to go for KYC, right? It's crypto after all. We can do an IDO through the exchanges afterwards. So we just need to issue the token first through this compliant partner. And then once it has been issued for the first time, we can actually sell it through exchanges and DEXs and stuff like that. So then, everyone else can participate. So that's the good news. You just have to wait a little bit longer, unfortunately.
fair enough. Fair enough. Okay. Well, I'm excited to participate and support however I can. I think it's going to be exciting as far as this token, because you had mentioned the marketplace, right? So tell us a little bit about what are some of the features? What are some of the aspects that you're going for in terms of the utility for this token?
Yeah, so the whole idea of the token is, and that's why we have waited so long for a token, is to have utility across the board. So we have a lot of different products that people might know by now, the payment gateway, NFT Maker Pro, the marketplace coming up, and all this kind of stuff that we're building around it. And we kind of want to connect all of them. So we try to find utility for essentially everyone who has NFTs on Cardano. That's like the big overarching goal. And we have multiple different use cases, like specific use cases. And I think, the big one, the main one is actually about verification. So one of the biggest issues in Cardano NFTs, but also in NFTs in general is, stolen art. So that people just go to Twitter, they copy, paste an image, and they just put it on OpenSea, and they make a lot of money with that sometimes. And sometimes it's even automated. And then, of course, that leaves a very bad taste in the mouth of all the people, like the regular artists that might not have launched an NFT yet, and then they see their art on OpenSea getting sold for thousands of euros or dollars. And that is a very bad reputation for us. So we need to find a solution for that. And the way we are approaching this is through a multitude of different things that we can implement. And one of them is through the token directly. So we have like a staking mechanism where you basically stake your token, and that way you gain a trust score. So imagine you have 1,000 tokens, you stake them, you have a trust score of 1,000. And now what happens is, if you are a bad actor or a good actor, you get either rewarded or punished. So imagine you are having this trust score of 1,000. So people immediately trust you more because they see, okay, this guy has some money in the game. And then, you go ahead and you do something bad. So you steal someone's art and put it on the platform, or you don't follow the terms of services or something like that. And then the users, like the regular users, can say, okay, this guy is doing something bad here. I want to punish this because this is not allowed. And we don't want to have this in our community. So they report you to a decentralized voting mechanism. And then the community comes together and they vote in a decentralized manner and say, okay, is this a correct report or is it a false report? And then you get punished, you lose some of your stake tokens, or maybe you gain some. So it's like a fluid movement of tokens, and that's really the idea. So that we don't have NFT Maker as a central instance to govern all of this and look after the art and like ban people and stuff like that. But instead, we want the community to be able to govern itself. Yeah, that's pretty much
Wow.
it.
Okay, I like it. Governance is a great utility aspect. It makes a lot of sense too. Like you said, there's so many people who just get turned off of the idea where you can just do a copy paste, right? Take a screenshot and pose it off as the real thing. Of course, people who are looking into things like this, of course, it's great to verify policy IDs. So that's a big disclaimer there. So if you're interested in Cardano NFTs, being very careful that you are purchasing the legitimate token by verifying that policy ID. It's a little bit of legwork, but will protect you against any type of scams. So interesting, very cool. So now this token, is that going to be tied into the marketplace as well? Like a payment system, or how does that work?
Yeah, so it cannot be used for payment at the beginning, unfortunately, because also this has actually to do with legalities. You have to be very careful that you don't classify yourself as a payment token immediately, because that makes it harder for not only us to issue the token, but also investors to get the token, because you have to go through more KYC, you have to be more careful, stuff like that. So what we are doing is we're not using it as a payment, but as a pure utility token at the beginning. Long term, that is not set in stone. So I do think that it makes a lot of sense to use it as a payment system long term, but it's not planned currently.
Sure, sure. Yeah, it's an incredibly fast moving space. And I think that what a lot of people who are building right now are waiting on is just the correct framework. Like, where do we stand within crypto? Especially here in the US, it's like there's just so much gray area. They come out with a bill saying that they want to ban proof of stake validators, like this infrastructure bill, right? They had just come out with. And now just seeing all these central banks are coming out with their own CBDCs. So it's like we know that crypto is here to stay. It's just right now, I think there's still that lack of clarity for a lot of the legislation.
Absolutely, that's the biggest issue for a lot of us at the moment. I mean, honestly, most of the projects building right now, they either don't even have the chance to get started because of a lack of clarity, or they just do it randomly and they just hope that everything is gonna be fine. Very few projects are in like the lucky position that I and NFT Maker are in, where we are actually able to talk to lawyers and pay lawyers. I can tell you they're freaking expensive.
I can only imagine.
Expensive. But I'm trying to do it all correctly. But even then, without the right framework in place, you can only build upon what is currently being guessed, essentially. So it's like it's very difficult for the whole space, and we need to have something in place to make it easy.
Yes. No, I couldn't agree more. Absolutely. So with the NFT Maker 1 year anniversary, man, crazy, right? 5 days away. It's like, geez, where's time going? Now,
Yes.
I know that well, for those who might be new, I remember when you had first started, you had your Babel stake pool. So it was a bittersweet moment to see what had happened there. It didn't end up working out with Babel, but then to hear that you have now started the NFT Maker stake pool. So shameless plug, you can just tell us more about that. What's going on with the NFT Maker stake pool?
Yeah, so the reason why I shut down Babel, and I really like Babel, and I like the whole concept, and it was my beginning into crypto or into Cardano, right? And I think it's also the number one pool with the most blocks that has ever shut down. So I'm kind of proud of that achievement. But maybe the ISPO pools. Okay, never mind that.
I don't know if those count. We'll talk
So
about community pools.
yeah, so never mind. The reason why I shut down Babel was essentially because I started this pool and I felt like I didn't have the time and energy to really bring the pool and its delegators what they deserved. I think, as a pool operator, you kind of have a responsibility to push what stake pools can be on Cardano. I mean, most of the stake pools out there, they're just replicates of themselves. They are just existing, they produce blocks, and that's it. And that's cool, and that's fine, that works. But in the end, I believe that stake pools are Cardano's like biggest strength, and I truly believe that in the future we will see a lot of like utility coupled to stake pools. So I think that stake pools will act as like a membership service where you have certain benefits by staking. For example, imagine there's a Netflix stake pool. You stake to your ADA to a Netflix stake pool, and you get a membership for Netflix for free or something like that, you know. And then you stake not only to Netflix, but you stake to a Spotify equivalent stake pool and to like 10 different stake pools. And all of these stake pools have unique benefits for their users. That's what I envision, and that's what I want to push.
Interesting.
So, yeah, and a lot of people might disagree, but I truly think that's the natural evolution of also the free market of the stake pools. And I didn't really feel like I was able to do that with Babel, so I decided to shut down Babel and create a stake pool for NFT Maker to bring everything together. And with NFT Maker, I have, of course, all these products and the company behind it, many people in the team there, so we can push more of what the stake pool can do. So right now, the stake pool has actual utility. Like when you stake to it, you get a fee, get lower fees on every single NFT minted on Cardano, not on Cardano, on NFT Maker, on Cardano through NFT Maker, essentially. So that's, you know, we minted over 950,000 NFTs at this point, and for every single NFT, you would get a discount.
Almost,
I think it's
almost
cool.
a million. 950,000?
Almost a million. Yeah.
Almost a million. Wow. At the 1 year mark too.
Wow. Yeah, I'm hoping we can get there before or right on the day, but I don't think we'll do it. NFT minting has slowed down a little bit lately, and it's only just now picking up again. So, you know, it might be close, but we'll get there eventually.
Okay. All right. Well, that's incredible. So you're saying that people who have delegated to the pool have that additional utility of delegating their ADA to an NFT Maker because they get reduced fees on the minting platform. So exactly. I totally agree with what you're saying there, in that I think that the idea of the stake pool, it is definitely the backbone of the network, but I feel like in terms of providing an incentive and additional value, these stake pools are a dime a dozen, right? I think right now there's like over 3,000 stake pools. So I completely agree with that idea that you have, where there has to be some added layer of utility or some incentive in addition to just ADA rewards to remain competitive. So that does make a lot of sense.
Totally. And you know, the most utility you actually have or find in the stake pools right now is the charity utility. Like there are a lot of stake pools just giving away to charity, including one of yours, right?
Yeah, well, that's what we do. So,
yeah. So that's super cool, and that's like a really good utility. But you know, just having all the stake pools doing charity is not enough. I think we need to have more utility, and that's just the natural evolution in which it will go and come. And the ISPOs was also another, like, one of these innovations coming through stake pools, which I, in theory at least, like. So, you know.
Yep. Yeah, the ISO, that was an interesting time, definitely. And I don't think that we've seen the last of them either. Oh, so I feel like it's going to be, and especially with the parameters changing too, it is going to be interesting. We could actually touch on that just while I've got you here on the call. I think it'd be great to hear your thoughts on it. They had talked about wanting to increase K to 750. They wanted to reduce the minimum fixed fee from 340 ADA and epoch to 30, right? So over a 10 times decrease. Just very briefly, I know we wanted to stay on topic here with NFT Maker, but what are your thoughts on that, just from like a bigger picture perspective?
Yeah, I think it's very interesting. You know, when you and I started with the stake pools, and you started a little bit earlier than I did, I still remember how everyone was talking about decreasing, you know, these values or changing these parameters, especially the ones with the minimum fee, because that is actually, the minimum fee is hurting smaller stake pool operators a lot. Like at the beginning, it made a lot of sense to have it at 340 because ADA was at, I don't know, 10 cents or something like that.
Oh yeah.
So you know, it was what you needed to run a stake pool efficiently or effectively. But now with the ADA price increase, it's become a big problem for small stake pools, because imagine you create one block per epoch and you earn, for example, for this block, just a random number, 1,000 ADA. And then you have to distribute these 1,000 ADA to your delegators. If you have to take 340 ADA off these 1,000 away, your delegators are going to get a lot less ADA than they would be getting on a larger pool that is able to produce 10 or 15 blocks an epoch. So I think these changes are really good in their essence. I really like the changes. I think the controversy around it is also due to IOHK not really, listening to the community and just deciding on changes themselves. And that's, of course, like a very good argument to make. But in general, I think it's just good for smaller stake pool operators. Or what do you think? I'm very curious also.
No, I feel like, well, what you had said, the example that you gave about the smaller pools with that, with less ADA rewards, and then you take on that 340. So that makes a lot of sense. I do think that small pools will benefit from a reduced min fixed fee. I think that a lot of larger pools are just like, well, are we going to see a race to the bottom? I'm curious to know like how some of these pools are going to be able to remain competitive, aside from simply just reducing their fees to the absolute lowest possible. Because I remember we did see a little bit of that. We saw like 0% margins, and people just really trying to play the fee game to be able to compete to attract delegation. So I'm curious to know, will we see a continuation of a race to the bottom with the fees? But then with that said as well, with the minimum cost, it's not necessarily mandatory for you to change it, right? I believe that's the case at least. So you don't have to necessarily go to 30, but that is the minimum. So just my thoughts there.
Yeah, that's a good question, and we don't know until we let it play it out, right? That's the thing. But it's so interesting because what I like about it is that the community's opinion about these changes has shifted a lot since I entered the space. Like last year or 2 years ago, even, it was very obvious to everyone that these changes were good for small operators, except for me at the time. I was actually, on the other side. And then over time, I changed my mind, and now, like, more people think these changes are hurting small operators or hurting the stake pool system in general. So it's like, I don't know, it's just strange how this develops, and also how the community grew. And many of the voices that were really big back in the day are maybe not that big anymore, and there are other voices that we listen to now. So it's been super fun to see that, honestly.
Yeah, no, it is amazing. It's incredible just to see the growth. So speaking of that, I guess just changing subjects a little bit here, I wanted to get more into what your experience has been like personally. I've just, been so fortunate to follow your journey. And I remember we even got a chance to meet in person back in Miami. That was super fun. But I wanted to ask you, what does a day in the life of Patrick Tobler look like? You got this digital nomad life going on. You're running this big company now with like tens of employees. I'm not sure how many you have right now, but it's just incredible to see you grow. What does the day-to-day look like?
The day-to-day is very different every day. That's the thing. I like today I'm in LA, so that's a lot of hours behind Germany. And today we launched our pre-sale, so it was a crazy day in general. I woke up at 5 a.m., which I normally never do. I like to sleep in until very late. But when you're so far behind Germany from the time zone you kind of have to wake up early to not get overwhelmed with messages when you wake up. So I woke up, I worked, I had some calls, I did this ICO pre-sale, and wrote like, I don't know, 50 emails or so.
Jeez.
And then, we started the ICO. Then I tweeted some stuff. Then I went to Starbucks for breakfast. And then, a few hours later, I actually went to Burbank, had this amazing dinner there with a view. And now I'm back. Now I'm here talking to you. Later today, I'm also going to go on a dinner actually with Giro Wallet.
Oh,
because one of the Giro Wallet guys is also from around here, and he drove up and said he wanted to meet in person. So we're gonna hang out, have some nice food, and just talk. So lately I've been just meeting a lot of amazing people, from gallery owners to Cardano people to, I don't know, NFT collectors. It's been crazy. Like, everyone is so open here, and you can just go to them and just hang out for a while, and you make connections everywhere. And I really enjoy that, actually.
wow. That's incredible. It's cool to hear that every day is different.
Yes, very much different. Yeah.
Nice, nice. Well,
How's the day in your life? I'm turning this around.
fair enough, fair enough. I see what you did there. My day is definitely not as as hectic. I feel like I've got a bit more structure. I definitely love to sleep in as well. Just getting a chance to feel fully rested. I feel like I've got more energy throughout the day. So I'll wake up, have a shower, have my coffee in the morning, catch up on emails, messages. Lately, I was explaining to you before we started the call, I've just been kind of taking it slow with the content creation lately, just because I feel like there's that stage that you get into as a creative where you just have this bit of writer's block. And it's good for me to just go back to the canvas and think of new ideas and brainstorm and learn. Lately, I've just been listening to a lot of audiobooks and reading, and just trying to take as many courses where I can learn something as far as a skill I can apply to what I'm doing. Today, I actually had a meeting with the team for Lovelace Saga, and then we're building this other platform called Cardano Calendar. So between the different projects, the YouTube channel, the stake pools, just making sure everything is working correctly, I've got this little system going. I just got to keep the wheels greased, but for the most part, it's running pretty smooth.
That sounds really cool, actually. What kind of audio books are you listening to at the moment?
Well, I've had to change it up. So for the most part, it's mostly personal finance, business, psychology. I actually made a tweet the other day. It did pretty well. It's, what was your favorite book? I just put a question out there just to get some feedback from the community, and I got so many great suggestions. So just a lot of reading up on different topics that even other people in the community recommended. Not too big on fiction. I do appreciate a good novel every now and then, but I think just in terms of what I have time for nowadays, it's mostly personal growth, business development, stuff like that.
Okay, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I'm personally not reading any like personal growth or like self-help kind of books, because I feel like I try to do that all my time. So I need to have some sort of thing to shut down with, and that's always fiction or sci-fi or just biographies and stuff like that.
Yes.
Yeah, it's great to see that you're reading so much or listening to books so much. That's really cool and really rare nowadays, honestly.
Yeah, I enjoy it. It's definitely like my escape. It's how I just take time and appreciate what else is out there. So, and then as far as everything that's being built right now, it's like, whew, how do you keep up with all these projects, right? It's just crazy.
It's totally crazy. It's been going faster and faster. I'm getting FOMO so hard, like especially with Milkomida and with all these things coming up. There's so much, like, how are you supposed to do all that? I still don't understand what most of the features on all the dexes are.
I
So
know.
it's crazy.
It's honestly, there's probably gonna be some like format, like a tutorial format, because if you think about all the different things, like you've got to create a wallet, you've got to delegate to a stake pool, um, putting your ADA in a smart contract, just enabling that feature within the wallet. Like it's almost like its own niche, like its own course that you can create content for. And I feel like that's, something I've been thinking about. I know a lot of great creators are doing stuff to onboard more people and educate, but that's what I feel like we're heading for in the future of just being able to bring in more people, right? Is just figuring out, okay, how do we make this easy to understand? How can we put out videos, content? So, it's exciting just to see the growth of the space. It's going parabolic. It's like, wow.
I would love to see some tutorials from you. I think you would be great at that. And it's a very important niche. There's not enough tutorials or like content for that out there. But in general, it also plays into the role of, like just user experience design and like product design. Most of these products are not made for people that have never used cryptocurrency. That's the thing. Like the DEXs are all extremely complicated to use for regular people. And the same goes also for the NFT marketplaces and for the NFT minting tools and everything. So we need to, like as a community, we need to make it easier. That's also what I try, of course. That's always, what I try, making NFTs more accessible to everyone. But yeah, it's just extremely difficult also to do so. You have to think really hard about how you build something which is easily understandable by anyone. And there's so many parts that play into that, from fiat integration to wallets, which are easier to use, to mobile, to all this kind of stuff.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. So with that, where do you think that we're heading? I mean, we're 1 year into NFT Maker. Just from your perspective and what you've seen so far with the growth in the ecosystem with things like NFTs, DeFi, Milkamada, like everything, and then NFT specifically grouped into that. What does the next year, going all the way up to like the next 5 or 10 years, look like to you?
I think, the road for crypto is pretty clear about, enabling just this whole space, digital identity, and banking for the unbanked. Like that is the crypto mindset, and that makes a lot of sense, and that is pretty clear to me that we're headed there. For Cardano, it's a little bit different, and Cardano has, I personally think Cardano has its hardest time right before it, because we're now at the point where, all the DEXs and stuff are possible, and smart contracts are there, and building is happening, and it's all getting, it's getting to a point where you can actually use it. But now we have so many different challenges to tackle at the same time. Like, for example, the governance challenge, like we spoke earlier about it with the whole protocol parameters. Then we have the challenge of scalability, of course, and you have to prove that Cardano is actually scalable like we expected. And then we also see IOHK removing themselves more and more from the equation. So we have to, as a community, step up and really show that we are able to continue with Cardano and make it a decentralized system without necessarily having Charles do an AMA every second day, like he did, 2.5 years ago. So yeah, that is where we're headed with it in general. And the role of NFTs in that is infrastructure. So I see NFTs still as infrastructure. I think NFTs are super important for all dApps in the future. You will be using NFTs even if you don't know that you're using NFTs. And that is what I'm excited about. Like you should only benefit from what NFTs can offer you in terms of being non-fungible token, right? And not really have to care about what they actually are and what a wallet is, but instead you just use the products, and then you see, okay, this has cool new features which make my life easier, and that's pretty much it.
Wow. Okay. I love that. Yeah, it's like when you get to that point where you're using something and you don't even realize it, that's, I think, when you get to that stage of mass adoption and real utility. So it makes a lot of sense. I would be interested to know like what applications would get to see that first. I feel like one of the first things that comes to my mind is like movie tickets, as far as NFTs go, concert tickets. I feel like with what we have now, the technology available, if you think of the wallet app on your Apple device, or if you have ever used like Google Pay, Android Pay, these things are very familiar for people. And to be able to have an NFT for something as simple as a movie ticket, I think that's probably where we're headed in the future.
I think so too. I think movie tickets are definitely one of the first ones, or not movie, but like tickets in general. It's because they're like, it's easy to build from a technical perspective, and the only hinderness is actually, I don't know if hinderness is a word. It seems like a German word, but
We'll go with it.
the hindering, the obstacle is actually the people controlling the ticketing business at the moment. but that's a lot easier to disrupt, as at least from my perspective, than something where you don't know how the technology is going to work exactly yet.
Yep.
So I think that we will see that in the next years. And yeah, then the second thing, of course, I mean, we're both good friends with Ryan from Noom or Muse at this point.
Yes.
No, now it's
No,
Noom.
yeah, Project Noom. Yeah.
Exactly. Project Noom, like the music industry is very, very ripe for an upgrade. And there are many people working on that. And I can see, I can really see like a decentralized Spotify where you just automatically buy the music that you want to listen, and then you automatically also sell it, and you don't even realize that that's happening, but it is happening in the background, and you have like ownership over the kind of stuff, but maybe only for a short term and stuff like that. So yeah, that's what I'm excited about, and I want to see that. And then after we have solved some of these like more obvious use cases, then it will become really interesting, I think.
Yeah. It's so funny. I was talking to Ryan the other day. Snoop had a call. He did a Twitter space with Champ and Charles and Clay Nations, which was crazy, by the way. Like just to
So
see
crazy.
Snoop Dogg, right, coming into the Cardano NFT space. And he was talking about how he wanted to do music, and he was talking about his like career with being involved with all these label companies and whatnot. And I was picking Ryan's brain, and you nailed it there, because I can't wait to be able to get to the point where Spotify is pretty much removed from the picture, right? It's just the user, the consumer, and the artist.
Yes, exactly, right. Yeah, and the space with Snoop was really insane.
Oh,
I actually I texted Lena on Twitter during the space. She was hosting it, right, with the Clay Nation account, and I told her this is crazy in Twitter, and she even replied while hosting the space, and I was just blown away by
wow.
what she did there. I think she handled all of it insanely well. I
Yes.
can't believe like this whole situation, everything. It's unbelievable.
Yeah. Big kudos to their team. That was an exciting moment.
Mm,
Yeah. Well, very
they-
cool. Very cool. Yeah, Patrick, I tell you, it's just incredible to see where you're going, man. I tell you, NFT Maker, it's exciting just to see what you've built. I can't wait to continue to support you guys with whatever you're doing. 1 year anniversary coming right around the corner. Can't wait for that.
Thank you.
I did want to ask you a couple final questions, and then I think we'll go ahead and wrap it up here. But where can the viewers, so for those who are watching and want to learn more, where can they go to find out more about your project and what you're building?
It's very easy actually. You just go to nft-maker.io in your browser, and then you come to this nice landing page, and you can click on token, for example, and then you see everything about the token. You see how you can participate. You can click on NFT Maker Pro. You see everything about NFT Maker Pro. So we try to make it understandable on the landing page. So that's the way to go.
Okay, fantastic. Yep, all those links will be available as well. So if you guys do want to support, please be sure to check out those links down below. And Patrick, last thing I got for you, man, I want to leave the floor open to you. Any last thoughts? I know we talked about quite a few things, just really getting a chance to catch up. It's always great to chat with you. We talked about NFTs, the whole staking experience on Cardano, where we're heading in the future. What are some last minute thoughts that you have for us, man?
Yeah, that's a hard one. In general, it's sometimes easy to forget what we're actually doing here, and that we're really changing the world in a way, and that's what we signed up. At least that's what I signed up with for Cardano. And you're so like into buying NFTs and all these JPEGs and like the drama on Twitter and stuff like this. But if you zoom out a little bit, it's all amazing. Like it's all absolutely amazing what we're doing here, and what the community has grown into, and like just the crypto community in general. So I think it's important to just take a step back and really look at it from outside, and realize like how amazing this all is, and how crazy it is that we are part of it. So yeah, that's everything I have to say about that.
Wow, man, you're giving me goosebumps over here. It's incredible. Very
Yeah,
cool. Awesome. All right. Well, Patrick, thank you so much, brother. I really did enjoy our conversation today. Congratulations, just first and foremost, just to see your progress. I'm so excited to see what you're building. There's a lot of people who support what you're doing, so just keep up the great work.
Thank you. And thank you for inviting me and always being there to support me. It's really, really an honor.
Yep, absolutely. All right, everybody. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching. Again, please be sure to support Patrick by checking out those links down below. Also, be sure to leave a comment. Let us know, are you excited for NFT Maker? Have you ever used the platform? We'd love to hear from you. All right, everyone. Thank you again, and we will see you all in the next one. Take care, everybody.